Stop scrolling right now because what I'm about to tell you could literally change how you see yourself forever. Right now, you might be walking around thinking you're average, ordinary, or not particularly attractive to women. But the truth is, you could be significantly more attractive than you realize, and you're missing all the signs that prove it. Here's what's going to blow your mind. Most genuinely attractive men have no idea how attractive they actually are. They're so focused on their perceived flaws, their insecurities, or comparing themselves to other guys that they completely miss the clear indicators that women find them appealing. Meanwhile, they're getting signals of attraction constantly. They just don't know how to recognize them. You've probably been underestimating your own appeal for years. Maybe you think you're not good-looking enough, not successful enough, not charming enough, or not confident enough to be considered attractive. But what if I told you that attractiveness to women is far more complex than what you see in the mirror, and that you might be possessing qualities that make you incredibly appealing without even realizing it? See, the problem isn't that you're not attractive. The problem is that you don't recognize the signs of your own attractiveness. You might be getting clear indicators that women find you appealing, but because you don't expect to be attractive, you're either missing these signs completely or interpreting them as something else. Here's what most men get wrong about attractiveness. They think it's just about physical appearance, money, or obvious charisma. But real attractiveness, the kind that actually draws women to you, is often more subtle and more complex than that. It shows up in how people respond to you, how they behave around you, and how they treat you in ways that you might not even notice. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 clear signs that you're more attractive than you realize. These aren't the obvious signs that everyone talks about. These are the subtle, consistent patterns in how people respond to you that indicate genuine attractiveness. Signs that you've probably been experiencing, but not recognizing for what they really are. And here's the crazy part. If you recognize even 3 of these signs in your daily life, you're probably significantly more attractive than you think you are. You might have been selling yourself short, lacking confidence unnecessarily, or missing opportunities because you don't understand the effect you actually have on people. Pay attention, because once you start recognizing these signs, your confidence and your understanding of your own value will change completely. And when that happens, your interactions with women will transform because you'll finally be operating from a place of genuine self-awareness rather than insecurity. Sign 1. People seek out your opinions and value your input. This first sign is huge, and it's happening all around you. When you're more attractive than you realize, people naturally gravitate toward your perspective and actively seek out what you think about things. This isn't just a politeness, it's genuine interest in your mind and your judgment, because attractive people are naturally seen as more credible and worth listening to. You might notice that in group conversations, people look to you for your opinion, even when you haven't been the most vocal participant. Colleagues might ask for your thoughts on projects, friends might want your advice on personal situations, or acquaintances might bring up topics specifically to hear what you think about them. But here's what most guys miss. This pattern happens because attractive people are unconsciously perceived as having better judgment, more interesting perspectives, and more valuable insights. When people find you attractive, they automatically assume your opinions are worth hearing, even in areas that have nothing to do with your expertise. This shows up in ways you might not connect to attractiveness. People might ask for your recommendations about restaurants, movies, or products. They might want to know your thoughts on current events, relationships, or life decisions. They might seek you out specifically when they need advice or want to talk through problems. The psychology here is that attractiveness creates what's called a halo effect. When people find you appealing in one area, they assume you're appealing in other areas too. If you're attractive, people unconsciously assume you're also smart, insightful, and worth listening to. You'll also notice that when you do share your opinion, people pay attention, remember what you said, and might even reference your perspective in later conversations. This happens because attractive people's words carry more weight and make more impact than they realize. Sign 2. You get consistently positive treatment from service workers. Here's a sign that's incredibly revealing once you know what to look for. When you're more attractive than you realize, people in service positions, baristas, servers, cashiers, retail workers, consistently treat you better than they treat other customers. This isn't just good customer service. It's the automatic positive response that attractive people receive in daily interactions. You might notice that you get faster service, more attention, extra effort, or special treatment in situations where others might get the bare minimum. Servers might be more friendly and attentive, baristas might remember your order or make small talk, or retail workers might go out of their way to help you find what you need. But here's what reveals your attractiveness. This positive treatment happens consistently across different places, different people, and different situations. It's not just one person being nice. It's a pattern of people responding positively to you because they find you appealing. This shows up in subtle ways that you might take for granted. You might get slightly larger portions, better seats, discounts you didn't ask for, or extra attention to your requests. Service workers might smile more genuinely, make more eye contact, or seem more engaged when helping you compared to how they interact with other customers. The psychology behind this is that attractive people automatically trigger positive responses in others, even in brief transactional interactions. Service workers aren't consciously deciding to treat you better. They're unconsciously responding to your attractiveness with increased warmth and attention. You might also notice that you rarely have negative experiences with service workers, that problems get resolved quickly when they do occur, or that people seem willing to bend rules or make exceptions for you. This happens because attractive people naturally receive the benefit of the doubt and more accommodating treatment. Sign 3, you receive unexpected compliments and positive comments. When you're more attractive than you realize, you probably receive more compliments and positive comments than you think is normal. But you might be dismissing them, downplaying them, or not recognizing them as indicators of genuine attractiveness. You might get compliments on things beyond just your appearance. People might comment on your style, your energy, your presence, or even abstract qualities like your vibe or your personality. But here's what you're missing. These compliments often come from genuine attraction and appreciation that goes deeper than surface-level politeness. This shows up in ways that might surprise you. People might compliment your choice in clothing, your haircut, your smile, or your laugh. They might make positive comments about your voice, your sense of humor, or the way you carry yourself. Colleagues might mention that you have good energy or that you're easy to work with. But here's the key indicator. These compliments come from different people in different contexts, suggesting that multiple people are noticing and appreciating similar qualities about you. It's not just one person being nice, it's a pattern of positive feedback that indicates genuine attractiveness. The psychology here is that people are naturally drawn to comment positively on things they find attractive. When you're appealing to others, they want to express that appreciation, even if they're not consciously thinking of it as attraction. You might also notice that people remember positive things about you and bring them up in later conversations, or that they seem genuinely enthusiastic when giving you compliments rather than just being polite. This authentic enthusiasm is a strong indicator that you're making a genuinely positive impression. Sign 4. People make effort to include you and spend time with you. Here's a sign that reveals significant attractiveness. People actively work to include you in activities, invite you to events, and create opportunities to spend time with you. This isn't just friendship, it's the natural magnetism that attractive people create, making others want to be around them. You might notice that you get invited to social events, work gatherings, or casual hangouts more often than seems normal. People might suggest activities specifically with you in mind, remember to include you in group plans, or reach out to you when they're organizing something fun. But here's what indicates your attractiveness. People make actual effort to ensure you're included, not just at passive invitations. They might text you directly to make sure you know about events, follow up if you haven't responded, or seem genuinely disappointed when you can't make it to something. This shows up in various contexts. Colleagues might invite you to lunch or after work activities. Friends might suggest weekend plans that include you, or acquaintances might reach out when they have extra tickets to events or want company for activities. The psychology behind this is that attractive people enhance social experiences just by being present. Others unconsciously recognize that having you around makes events more enjoyable, more fun, or more socially valuable, so they actively work to include you. You'll also notice that when you do attend events, people seem genuinely happy that you're there, engage with you actively, and might even mention that the event is better because you came. This authentic appreciation for your presence is a strong indicator of your attractive qualities. Sign 5. You notice people looking at you more often than seems normal. This final sign might be the most direct indicator of attractiveness, but it's also the one that many men dismiss or misinterpret. When you're more attractive than you realize, you probably catch people looking at you, making eye contact, or paying attention to you more frequently than you think is typical. You might notice people glancing at you in coffee shops, grocery stores, or public spaces. Women might make eye contact with you more often, hold that eye contact a bit longer than usual, or seem to notice you in ways that feel different from casual observation. But here's what reveals your attractiveness. This attention isn't just occasional. It's a consistent pattern that happens in different places with different people. You might catch people looking at you multiple times in the same location, or notice that you seem to attract glances wherever you go. This shows up in subtle ways that you might not connect to attractiveness. People might turn to look when you walk by, or glance over during conversations, or seem to notice you even when you're not doing anything particularly noteworthy. You might also notice that people remember you from brief interactions or recognize you in places where you wouldn't expect to be remembered. The psychology here is straightforward. Attractive people naturally draw visual attention. Others look at appealing people more often and for longer periods because they're pleasant to look at and naturally interesting to observe. You might also notice that when you do make eye contact with people, they smile, seem friendly, or appear receptive rather than looking away quickly or seeming uncomfortable. This positive response to eye contact is a strong indicator that your presence is welcome and appreciated. The psychology of not recognizing your own attractiveness. Understanding why attractive people often don't realize their appeal requires recognizing several psychological factors. First, we're typically our own harshest critics, focusing on perceived flaws that others don't notice or care about. Second, we often normalize the positive treatment we receive, assuming everyone gets treated the same way. There's also the familiarity effect. We see ourselves every day, so we can't appreciate our appeal with fresh eyes the way others do. Additionally, many men have been taught to downplay their positive qualities, or have received messages that confidence about attractiveness is arrogant or unappealing. Social comparison also plays a role. When you compare yourself to idealized images in media, or focus on men who seem more obviously attractive, you might underestimate your own appeal to real women in real situations. What this means for your confidence in dating life. If you're recognizing multiple signs in your daily experiences, you're probably significantly more attractive than you've been giving yourself credit for. This recognition should fundamentally change how you approach interactions with women and how you see yourself in romantic contexts. Understanding your actual attractiveness level can help you approach dating with appropriate confidence. Recognize when women are interested in you and stop underselling yourself in romantic situations. You might have been missing opportunities or lacking confidence unnecessarily. Reframing your self-perception. The most important thing to understand is that attractiveness isn't just about meeting some idealized standard. It's about the positive effect you have on others and the genuine appeal you possess that others can see even when you can't. If these signs resonate with your experience, it's time to update your self-perception and start operating from a place of genuine confidence rather than insecurity. You might be far more attractive than you realize, and recognizing that can transform not just your dating life, but your entire approach to social interactions. The ripple effects of recognizing your attractiveness. When you finally understand your actual level of attractiveness, it creates positive changes that extend far beyond dating. Your confidence increases, your social interactions improve, and you start carrying yourself differently because you're operating from accurate self-knowledge rather than insecurity. This new self-awareness often becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. As you recognize your attractiveness and gain confidence, you become even more attractive to others. Confidence itself is highly appealing, and when it's based on genuine self-knowledge rather than false bravado, it's particularly magnetic. Final thoughts: embracing your actual value. The most important thing to remember is that these signs don't lie. If you're consistently experiencing positive responses from others, receiving attention, and being sought out socially, you're probably more attractive than you think you are. Stop underestimating yourself and start recognizing the clear evidence of your appeal that's been surrounding you all along. Your attractiveness isn't something you need to achieve. It might be something you need to finally acknowledge and embrace. Remember that attractiveness is about much more than physical appearance. It's about the positive energy you bring, the way you make others feel, and the genuine appeal that draws people to you. If you're seeing these signs in your life, trust them. They're telling you something important about your actual value and appeal that you need to finally believe. Once you fully accept and internalize your actual level of attractiveness, you'll notice a profound shift in how you move through the world. You'll stop second-guessing yourself in social situations, stop assuming you're not good enough for certain people, and start approaching interactions from a place of genuine confidence rather than insecurity. This isn't about becoming arrogant or entitled. It's about finally operating from accurate self-knowledge instead of distorted self-perception. The irony is that the moment you truly recognize your attractiveness, you often become even more attractive to others. There's something magnetic about a person who understands their value without being cocky about it, who carries themselves with quiet confidence, and who doesn't need constant validation because they already know where they stand. This authentic self-assurance is one of the most attractive qualities anyone can possess. Moving forward, challenge yourself to reinterpret the positive responses you receive as evidence of your appeal rather than dismissing them as coincidence or politeness. When someone seeks out your opinion, when you receive good service, when people want to spend time with you, recognize these as reflections of the attractive qualities you possess. Stop selling yourself short and start giving yourself credit for the genuine impact you have on others. Your attractiveness has been there all along. Now it's time to finally see it, own it, and let it transform how you approach every interaction in your life.